One Piece has dominated the world since its conception almost 30 years ago, captivating the minds of all who hear its title alone. You don't even have to consume an inch of this franchise and still wonder what lies over the horizon of one of the greatest stories ever told. When and where will this story end, and what? What is One Piece? One Piece is, yes, probably the greatest epic to have ever been written, but at its core, it's about adventure and, yeah, it's about pirates, mainly. But two pillars in particular hold up this world's entire magic system and allow characters to do crazy like this. Did you see that? Haki and devil fruits are the meat and potatoes of the One Piece world. Devil fruits being a magical fruit that grants whoever eat them extraordinary and usually incredibly weird powers and abilities. And we'll talk about those in another upcoming video very soon. Subscribe if you don't want to miss it. But today we are talking about Haki and how to add it to your D&D campaigns. We're gonna break down what the power of believing in yourself can do and why you need to be adding this to your games. This is to you, Oda Sensei. Okay, let's get right into this. In a nutshell, Haki is an individual's willpower, the strength of their ability to never doubt themselves. And through enough training, one can learn to manifest this into energy to perform incredible superhuman feats. As of right now, we are aware of 3 distinct types of Haki mastery in the world of One Piece. Observation Haki focuses on the sensing of other beings' spiritual energy, or like their Haki, in order to anticipate their movements or to, in general, better understand them. All living things within the world of One Piece possess Haki, even if it's just a little bit. The second mastery is Armament Haki, which involves the creation of a protective coat of energy around your body. This is your willpower personified, and this coating can be applied in many different ways, both offensively and defensively. And in combat, it's kind of used to overcome another individual's willpower. You have this battle of willpowers personified in the actual fight taking place. It's a really cool concept. And finally, the rarest of them all is Conqueror's Haki. Conqueror's Haki is only gifted to those who possess the willpower of a true king. This isn't determined though through a right to sit on a throne or anything like that. True kings are those who have the greatest ambitions in the entire world to become the very best at something.
I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
And because of this, these people can easily be considered to have the greatest willpower of all, the strongest Haki in the world. In its simplest form, these individuals can exert their kingly will upon others, forcing them to either run in fear or become so overwhelmed that they just outright fall unconscious. And then there are also several advanced versions of each of these 3 techniques, which we'll get into in just a little bit. But all of these abilities can be mastered by you. Or, your player character, or DMs, your villains. Who would you use? What kind of characters would you play in an adventure running this system? DMs, what kind of foes would you throw at your players? If you're looking for inspiration, Cheipeku Tokens has you covered. Now, I'm sure at this stage you are well aware of Cheipeku and their insane collection of over 4,000 maps, but now they're bringing all of that inspiration that their maps invoke over to a whole new service of custom token designing. So you can discover monsters, player characters, and NPC tokens that will bring to life your games and easily fill you with inspiration. And obviously all these tokens are gonna pair super nicely with the maps that they have. So if you're already using them, You know what, look, let's actually just go ahead and check it out right here in this video. I just think that's gonna be way better than me just waffling on about things. Let's actually just see what this service can do. So we're gonna take a look here at Chepeku tokens. This is a really cool whole thing that they've set up now for token making. And this is just straight up my first time diving in here and looking through what you can do. I'm gonna see if I can make a pirate goblin or some sort of token for a goblin character who would play in this One Piece kind of world. So let's have a look. I can immediately see there's a there's a goblin here, and when you hover over them, you know, it kind of shows you some examples of what you can make and do. There's so many already here. Like it's a thick collection. I'm still scrolling. Wow. Okay, amazing. Go goblin fighter. Sure. So we've got our nice base styles. Ooh, I like that one a lot. Okay, that's already got big Zoro vibes, kind of, or, you know, Luffy a little bit, or Luffy. Yeah, there's a bunch of accessories and stuff. So obviously you can play around with the colors. I'm pretty happy with this green. So can we actually just change it completely? Yeah, we can. That's amazing. What I'm really curious about though are the accessories. So let's see just what we can change up here. So we can give him a bunch of different weapons. Let's go, what kind of clothing then? If we add on more items, obviously you can change the colors of all of those different items. Let's go with the scar. Oh, I love that. It's already kept the colors. It remembers the colors I chose. That's a big thing. Just neon pink. And now we'll swap back. Yeah, it stays neon pink. That's really handy. Noses. Ooh, we got different nose types. Pupils. Ooh, teeth. Very kind of anime-esque hair there. I like that. Here, oh, you could have multiple ears? What the hell? That's awesome. Yeah, skulls I think are a big vibe here. What the hell? That's beautiful. And then, ooh, there's different types. There's different types of skulls. We got like a sailory back. Ooh, that's nice. Cool world tree kind of vibe there. Icons. What? There's even more stuff. I thought that was it. Ooh, that's really cool. So, like Goblin 1, Goblin 2, Goblin 3. So I could just clone this token. And then I can download it, download another one, and then just go like Goblin 1, 2, 3, 4. That's so cool. I love that. There we go. We have a nice pirate goblin character now to work with. That's really cool. Let's see what we get. Yes. That's way cooler. So if you're on the fly, you just want a goblin, like random goblin. Let's go. Look at this. This is sick. There are so many different cool things here. What the? This 100% is children's drawings of monsters. What? Whoa, that's so cute. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sold. This is all I needed. This is all I needed. What the hell? Oh my god, they have cool backgrounds of pens and holy smokes, this is awesome. So now that we have our character in mind, let's go ahead and see how we can power them up with this new One Piece Haki skill tree. This spicy, if I do say so myself, this is a spicy skill tree that I have designed to function alongside your typical D&D 5e rules and its traditional leveling system. However, it can also be used in tandem with my classless leveling system that some of you might be familiar with. So now you have even more options to spend those level points in outside of the combat skill tree. But if you decide to use the former using traditional leveling, I would say starting at level 3 and then every 2 levels after that, I would allow your players to purchase one ability from this skill tree, starting from the Haki node here right in the center and working your way outwards. Also, every time the players gain a level, just in general, when using this system, allow them to increase their stamina by 2. And I'll touch on stamina later. But for those of you who want to use the classless skill tree system, just use this as an additional skill tree you can purchase from alongside the combat skill tree, but maybe limit your players to just one purchase from the skill tree per level. Have every node cost maybe 1 level point, but consider making the strongest ones at the very ends of these skill trees cost maybe 2 or 3. So starting in this central node called Haki is where you will begin your journey. This is where you learn how to harness your very own willpower and manipulate it into energy, or in this case, stamina. So stamina is this currency similar to spell slots that allow you to use most abilities within the skill tree, as well as other martial focused abilities within my own class's skill tree, like flourishes, grapple moves, and exposing strikes. After that, it will be down to you to decide what direction you wish to take. Do you want to become an expert of observation techniques, deepening your ability to sense auras and anticipate attacks? Or perhaps you wish to fortify your body and attacks with Armament Haki by bypassing defenses while increasing your own. Or maybe you want to be one of those super rare kings from One Piece and maybe assert your will upon other people with your Conqueror's Haki and dominate them utterly. That could be also a pretty neat option. But you'll also notice each ability has been hidden behind a wall of requirements, meaning you'll need to train hard if you want to achieve some of the greatest feats in this skill tree. Ideally, you could argue that all forms of Haki would be based off of maybe a combination of your wisdom and charisma, but for balancing reasons, I've instead assigned a different pairing of stats for each branch of Haki mastery. You can obviously change these up if you want, especially if they're not like sitting well with you, or remove them completely, but I just thought for balancing purposes and working within the parameters and confines of D&D, I kind of had to put something in here. So if you don't like them, that's okay, we can change them up or rant about them in the comments. Let me know which stats should be what. But in my own personal and professional opinion, observation Haki, I believe, should be represented by intelligence. Now hear me out. Some of the greatest masters of observation Haki tend to be more of an intelligent type of character. Take Usopp, for example. At his core, he is an inventor or a tinkerer of sorts, and so I think intelligence is a good mental stat for observation. I then went with charisma for Conqueror's Haki, as it's all about asserting one's will upon other people, commanding them to do things, which in my opinion felt very charisma focused. But then, notice how I'm tiptoeing around the eggshells here? Armament Haki, which I would consider to be the most iconic of all Hakis, probably because it's got a very clear visual for it, should probably be represented by wisdom, seeing as wisdom, in my own opinion as well, best represents willpower as a whole. Though easily an argument could be made for every single one of these mental attributes in D&D. But speaking of the quote-unquote most iconic of all Haki techniques in One Piece, Armament Haki is the incredible ability that lets you turn anything into licorice. In its most basic form, Armament Haki allows you to coat your body in an embodiment of your willpower, increasing its strength and durability. So when you first dip into this branch of the skill tree, you can decide on if you want to start using it offensively or defensively. Protective Armament Haki requires 2 stamina to activate and lasts as long as you can maintain concentration on it, reducing all incoming damage by your wisdom plus constitution modifier combined. Offensive Armament Haki, on the other hand, lets you infuse your unarmed attacks with Haki for 1 stamina, adding your wisdom modifier to the attack roll. At later levels, both of these abilities increase in power, letting you reduce additional damage or add more damage to your unarmed attacks. But you won't be limited to coating just your body for long. Later on, external infusion allows you to live out your Zoro fantasies and coat your very own weapons in Haki. You can choose to specialize in either melee or range weapons, and while maintaining concentration on one of these weapons and spending a little stamina along the way, you can add a bunch of force damage to these attacks based on your wisdom and constitution modifier combined. But this is all meaningless if you're up against a devil fruit user who can simply turn their body into sand, or just doing whatever weird devil fruit thingies they do, and most of the time resisting all the attacks you throw at them. So that's why if you're going to get anywhere in the red line, you're going to want to learn Ryu. Now, I have taken some liberties here just for balancing reasons. I know that Armament Haki in general lets you hit Logia Devil Fruit users and other strange Devil Fruit users, but for the mechanics that I had in mind, I figured this would be best given at later levels, because that ability would be bypassing damage resistances entirely. When you first unlock the ability to utilize Ryu, you can choose if you want to focus on close-up melee attacks or using Ryu Omission to increase the range of those melee attacks, fighting from a distance. Basic Ryu will allow you to spend stamina to have any attack of yours bypass resistances of a creature, as you instead push your Haki inside them and impact their internal organs, damaging them from the inside out. Alternatively, Ryu Omission lets you launch your Haki across long distances, increasing the range of your melee attacks. But then finally, there is the Black Blades. There are some legendary figures in One Piece who have been pumping Haki into their weapons for years on end and have ended up completely saturating their blade in Armament Haki, permanently altering their form forever. This ability lets you choose a single weapon of your choice and have it turn pitch black and become forever indestructible. You'll no longer need to maintain concentration when using external infusion with this weapon, nor will using your weapon use up any stamina when using any armament abilities. On top of this, it now will count as a +3 weapon while wielded, or a +1 weapon if wielded by anyone else. But if you're not really the close-up and personal type and prefer to observe like Usopp, Observation Haki, when you first begin to progress down this branch, lets you decide if you want to focus more on quickening your perception and in turn your reflexes, letting you anticipate attacks, or deepen your insight and understanding of individuals and in turn grant you the tools to better defend against their influence. True Aura Sense then be crazy and lets you perceive the location of all living things around you or hone in on just one, so long as you are standing still. You can do it while moving, but it's going to require a little concentration. Unlike the Voice of All Things, this amazing ability is broken up into 3 categories: beast, languages, and objects. Specializing in either will grant you the unique ability to communicate with each of these subjects with ease and at no cost. I feel like I'm trying to sell a product here. I mean, I'm giving away this whole thing for free. And then the pièce de résistance, the crowning jewel of Observation Haki. I know you all love Future Sight. This busted ass ability of One Piece lets you glimpse just a few seconds into the future, predicting enemies' attacks before they even happen. If you are going up against an opponent with an ability like this, sir, madam, gentle person, I wish you the best of luck. Unless, of course, you are a master of Conqueror's Haki. You know what this is. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, you know. As I mentioned before, traditionally this form of Haki can only be mastered by those who possess the willpower of a true king, those who have the greatest ambitions to become the very best, like no one ever was. But if you want to add this to your classic D&D settings, don't feel too obliged to follow this ruling. If you have at least 13 charisma and strength, you're good. As I mentioned before, this form of Haki in its most basic form is all about asserting your kingly will over other people and dominating them. When you first invest in this branch of Conqueror's Haki, you learn a super neat ability that, at the very beginning at least, works very similarly to the sleep spell, only it scales off of your strength and charisma, which interestingly makes paladins a great fit for a Conqueror Haki user. You spend 3 stamina to roll a bunch of d8s and add up the total. You then start subtracting the HP of creatures within 20 feet of you from that total. If it was enough to reduce their HP to 0, they fall unconscious. And even if they don't, at later levels, they still still have to make a charisma saving throw or be frightened of you. You'll even be able to usher command words to those who this ability would have knocked unconscious if you so choose to do so. Later on, you can pick up animal taming, so now if you try to assert your Conqueror's Haki to any beasts, it only needs to reduce their HP by half the amount to have an effect on them. And if it does, you can choose to make them your friends for the next 24 hours. And then if you choose to pick up Haki Infusion, you can choose to infuse your fists or weapons with that same dominating Conqueror's Haki to inflict fear on anyone you choose to attack, bashing away at their resolve to fight. But the real cream of the crop of Conqueror's Haki is the killer of all, observation. As a reaction, you can shut down anyone's ability to use observation abilities against you. And along with that, just by having this ability, no one can ever scry on you or read your future in any shape or form ever again. You write your own destiny now, and no one can predict what you will do next. One Piece has utterly blown up the world, and I don't think that anyone could have predicted its success when Oda first sent Luffy out on his little rowboat to become the Pirate King, and One Piece certainly has become the very best at what it does and is without a doubt the true king of graphic literature. And if you want to become a true king in your own D&D games, the PDF for this skill tree is absolutely free. It's absolutely free. Go grab it. It is yours. Go ahead, go out there, go write your One Piece one-shots or D&D one-shot campaigns. All I ask in return is that maybe you share this video around, give it a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you don't want to miss the Devil Fruit skill tree that I will be releasing very, very soon. Keep your eyes on the horizon, folks, and I will see you there. Also, thank you so much to all of my incredible patrons out there. I love you so much. You make my world a better place, and you allow me to keep doing what I do. You are all fantastic. I love you all. I love you. Have a great day. Goodbye.